Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. On this particular cricket show, it's going to be the second day's play between Pakistan and Australia in Dubai, where Haris Sohail scored a maiden test century along with Asad Shafiq, who scored a valuable 80, and that really enabled Pakistan to post 482 runs on the board. They were all out for 482. They would have liked to get over 500, but unfortunately they couldn't. And 482 was still a formidable target that they did, and Australia towards close of play with debutant Arun Finch and Travis said at the crease, Usman Khwaja at the crease, were 30 for no loss on the second day. I'll be talking about that game and also the West Indian team, which is touring India right now, playing in the second test series, in the two test series, has announced their ODI and T20 squad. Darren Bravo and Kieron Pollard will be back in action. Chris Gayle has declined to participate, saying that he'll be available for the England tour and the World Cup. As we know, that Chris Gayle is actually doing duty in the Afghanistan Premier League that is happening right now. Now, so that is something, and we are going to have a look at the West Indies team, which is having a lot of youngsters being thrusted into the team. So there are a lot of talented youngsters who are coming through, which I'll be talking about, who have done very well in the CPL, and also the final, not the final, after the ODI series is over, with South Africa blanking Zimbabwe. Now it's the time to turn to T20 cricket between South Africa and Zimbabwe. The first of that would be starting between South Africa and Zimbabwe. And also, time permitting, we will have a look at some cricket. Probably the Afghanistan Premier League, which happened yesterday. I'll be talking about that game where Gulbuddin Naib bowled very well to get his team to victory. But first, we will start off with the second day's play in the test match between Pakistan and Australia. And they resumed on their overnight score, and they lost the night watchman Mohammad Abbas pretty quickly, as he was clean bowled by Peter Siddle for just one run. But after that, what happened was a 150-run partnership that happened between Asad Shafiq and Haris Sohail, and they rode on to put on a 150-run partnership for the I think it was for the fifth wicket. So they rode on to put on a very big partnership at that for the fifth wicket, which was 150 runs. And Haris Sohail getting his maiden test done, which is good to see. He was also on twinkling feet along with the spinners, where he used to come down the wicket. And Haris Sohail, one has seen that he's a very graceful player to watch when he actually plays his strokes, and that carried on with Haris Sohail and Asad Shafiq combining very well. Asad Shafiq also looking in good touch with a score of 80 with 9 fours and 1 6. Haris Sohail maiden test century, and this is something which will go a long way for him. He was out for 110 with 8 fours and 2 sixes. And after that, this partnership, as I said, added 150 runs to the good from 260. They took on the score to 410. And also Asad Shafiq, as I said, Haris Sohail definitely danced down the wicket and thrust 2 sixes as well. But Asad Shafiq was the first one. Now Manas Labuschagne, the part-time leg spinner, got his maiden test wicket. It was a wonderful delivery from Manas Labuschagne, the part-time leggy. Actually got a perfect leg break where Asad Shafiq prodded forward and the ball turned and bounced and took the outside edge of the bat. Payne took a good catch, and what a maiden test wicket for Manas Labuschagne, the leggy. and Asad Shafiq was walking back to the pavilion, caught pain bowled Labuschagne 80 with 9 fours and 1 6. But after that, it was Haris Sohail had to really take over and play some good strokes. So he danced down the wicket and deposited John Holland, who was really targeted in a big manner into the over the fence for many a time, 2 times. And then Haris Sohail, after hitting those 2 sixes of John Holland, once again chanced his arm, and this time it was all over, as it was a ball on the 4th stump line. The ball skidded right through. Sohail wanted to play his cut shot, which got him a lot of runs, but the ball was too close, and he got an edge, and Payne's gloves nicely settled underneath, and that was the end of Haris Sohail. But not before he made his maiden test run. Caught Payne bowled line 110 with 8 fours and 2 sixes, and these were the 2 batsmen who really made it possible for Pakistan to be 482 all out. And this was something which was not in the fitness of things at all. Babar Azam was run out for just 4 runs. He came down the wicket to actually whip the ball through the mid-wicket region. Sohail wanted the run, but Babar was pretty slow to get out of the blocks, and in the process, the throw was spot on. Payne whipped off the bails, and Babar Azam was gone, run out for 4. After that, there was more tragedy for Pakistan, as the Babar Azam and Sarfraz Ahmed getting run out really put paid to their hopes of reaching the psychological 500 mark. Now, this was Sarfraz Ahmed getting a ball outside the off stump. He cut it to the point region. Finch had a good hitter, he really hit the ball. He took the ball and directly hit it on the stumps. And by the time Sarfraz could go there, it was all over. It was a very good piece of fielding by Arun Finch, which had the wicket of the captain Sarfraz Ahmed. Run out for Finch, 15 with no boundaries and no sixes. And after that, the debutant all-rounder Bilal Asif was clean bowled by Peter Siddle for just 12 runs with 2 boundaries, as he got a ball which was an incoming delivery from Siddle. This is a stock ball of Siddle which really seams back in, and it went to hit the middle stump. So Bilal Asif's debut, he was out for 12. Yasir Shah was claimed that it was a solitary wicket for Mitchell Starc today, as he was caught behind of the bowling of Mitchell Starc for 3, and finally Starc got his first wicket. Wahab Riaz was not out on 7 with 1 boundary, and that was the end of the Pakistan innings at 482. Basically, as I said, with Babar Azam and Sarfraz Ahmed getting run out, their hopes of getting to the 500 mark totally failed. Mitchell Starc just getting 1 wicket, 36.2 overs, 11 maidens, 90 runs on 1 wicket for Mitchell Starc. Peter Siddle was the best of the bowlers, really stuck to a good line, and really bowled very wholeheartedly. 29 overs, 11 maidens, 58 runs and 3 wickets. That's splendid bowling from Peter Siddle, having a lot of control, which was very good to see. Nathan Lyon, 52 overs, 12 maidens, 114 runs and 2 wickets. John Holland, 29 overs, 1 maiden, 126 runs and 1 wicket. Marnus Labuschagne got his maiden test wicket, 8 overs, 1 for 29, and Mitchell Marsh, 10 overs, none for 38. Now, Australia were given a torrid 13 overs to face just before close of play, and we had a debutant, Arun Finch, walking in. Arun Finch survived, one could say, from some LBW appeals coming in from Yasir Shah, the leggy, as Arun Finch was not out on 13 with no boundaries and no sixes. Usman Khwaja played steadily, not out on 17 with 1-4, as Australia closed the day on 30 for no loss after facing 13 overs. Mohammad Abbas, 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 9. Wahab Riaz, 2 overs, none for 6. Spinners went into operation as well. Yasir Shah bowled 4 overs, none for 14. There was some slight turn in the pitch for sure. Mohammad Hafiz, 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 run, no wicket. And Bilal Asif, the debutant, bowled his maiden over in international cricket, in Test cricket, 1 over, which had to be a maiden. Was a maiden. So Australia have a hard work to do. Their first target will be getting 282 runs to actually save the follow-on, and then proceed further. So that's the match situation there in Dubai on the second day of the first Test match. Now we go on to a selection thing which is going on. As I said, West Indies are out in India. They already lost the first Test. The second Test is coming coming in Hyderabad, and the West Indies have named their limited overs versions for the series against India. One is the ODI series and the T20 series, and it contains a lot of new names which I'm going to talk about. But one thing I can say, Darren Bravo and Kieron Pollard will be back in action as far as T20 is concerned. Both would be back in action. So T20 has been strengthened. Chris Gayle has decided to sit out. So it will be Kieron Pollard and Darren Bravo getting into the team after quite a long time. And that is good news for... so keeping the thing on the T20, just have a look at the T20 squad that is on Carlos Brathwaite. Now Fabian Allen is a very aggressive player. We have seen it in the CPL. Darren Bravo, Shimron Hetman, another talented bloke. Evan Lewis, Obed McCoy is the left-arm pace bowler, impressed this year in the CPL 2018, bowled superbly. Ashley Nurse, Kimo Paul, Caddy Pierce, the left-arm spinner. A lot of new faces, Kieron Pollard, Roman Powell, the very, very big hitter of the ball. Dinesh Ramadan, Andre Russell is there in the T20 squad as well. Sherfin Rutherford is a very, very dangerous bloke to have, because he can really make the ball disappear over the terraces time and time again, because he did that in the inaugural T20 cricket tournament in Canada as well, where he blasted a century in double quick time, and it was a menacing innings from him. So Sherfin Rutherford is another dangerous bloke, but young and talented, so he gets his opportunity. And Sherfin Rutherford really plays very aggressively, let me tell you that, and I thought that's a very good selection. O'Shane Thomas is someone who has made the cut in both the limited overs and the T20, and that is because of he's a very, very well built lad, young, talented, and he bowls at 145 kph, which is awesome pace, one could say, and he bowls that at a very consistent rate. He's very tall, he's very well built, and he has the great build for a fast bowler. And I think O'Shane Thomas is a genuine pace bowler, and one would be waiting to see on Indian wickets how does he fare, which is always a sort of a minefield for bowlers, as we all know. But O'Shane Thomas definitely is a genuine pace bowler, and he did well as well in the CPL. Now, so let's now look at the West Indies limited over squads. The limited over squads, the ODI squad. Jason Holder will captain the team. Fabian Allen, who has found his spot in both the limited overs and the T20. Sunil Ambrose, Devendra Bishu, Chandrapal Hemraj is another new cap who has come into the team as a batsman. Shimron Hetmyer, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, the tall bowler, is there in the ODI squad. Evan Lewis, Ashley Nurse, Kimo Paul, Roman Powell, Kemar Roche, Marlon Samuels is there in the limited over squads as well. And O'Shane Thomas, as I said, the genuine pace bowler, has found a spot in both the one day and the T20, and I'm willing to watch him in both the one day and T20. I think he's a sort of a fine prospect for the West Indies. O'Shane Thomas, as I said, very well built. When I see O'Shane Thomas, I definitely get the feel. I mean, I always think about one genuine pace bowler that West Indies had once upon a time. His name was Patrick Patterson, and the build is almost like looking the same as Patrick Patterson. O'Shane Thomas, man to watch. So that is the team composition as far as the limited overs and T20 is concerned. Now, the first T20, as I said, after South Africa blanked Zimbabwe in the ODI series 3-0, it's time to get to East London's Buffalo Park, which is hosting the first game of the T20 series between South Africa and Zimbabwe, and we are having a look at what really is in store. But T20 is again a different ball game altogether, because the team that bats well on that particular day definitely goes to win it. So it will be interesting. Zimbabwe can't be really be just dismissed like that, as we all know, because Zimbabwe have run Pakistan and Australia close in the tri-series as they have taken the game till the last over. So let's have a look at South Africa. South Africa seem to have a new opening pair, which is very interesting. They have Quinton de Kock, who is going to be opening up with Graham Clote, and he's making his ODI debut. So that's interesting. So that's extremely interesting, as they have a debutant in the mix there for the first T20 match, which is coming up between South Africa and Zimbabwe. That's very interesting to know. And Graham Clote is going to open with Quinton de Kock. So that's going to be interesting. Du Plessis will captain Rassie van der Dussen, who is already making a lot of noises now because he actually played in the he represented Vancouver in the inaugural Canadian T20 tournament, and he played at a very consistent rate. He was the second highest scorer in the T20 tournament held in Canada. And Rassie van der Dussen, let me tell you, has 3 T20 centuries under his belt, and he has played very well in the South African domestic competition, and here he has merited, and one is really eager to see van der Dussen go, because he is someone who is a very good stroke maker. JP Duminy or Henrik Klaasen, on all probability, Klaasen might pip Duminy to the post there, in my reckoning. David Miller, Robbie Freiling, the pace bowler, Andel Felukwayo, the all-rounder Junior Dala, who bowled against India, as you remember, made his debut against India, Lungi Gidi, and Imran Tahir. So it's a good mix. South Africa seems to be getting very strong there. As far as Zimbabwe are concerned, Zimbabwe will open up with Solomon Mar and Chamu Chubaba. They'll be expecting Solomon Mar to really take off like an aeroplane in the T20 version. Chamu Chubaba is he's a good stroke maker, but he also is more of a nudger and a pusher as well. But Solomon Mar is the one who has to really start the fireworks for Zimbabwe. Hamilton Masakaja will captain the team with all his experience. Brenton Taylor, Tarisai Musakanda, who has been delivering for Zimbabwe. Sean Williams, Elton Chugumbra to give some blast at the end. Tendai Chisoro, the left arm spinner, and Brandon Mouta, the leg spinner, who has been bowling well with his leggies. And they have the pace attack would be in the hands of Kyle Jarvis and Chris Pofu, who is an economical bowler. So it's a good mix, and one is waiting to watch as to what really happens in the first T20 between Zimbabwe and South Africa. Now, the thing which I'm going to talk about is the Afghanistan Premier League, which saw its 5th match of Australia. It was an interesting match where Balk Legends made 165 for 5, and the Kandahar Knights were restricted to 152 for 7. Thus, the Balk Legends actually winning the match by 13 runs, with the medium pace all-rounder Gulbuddin Naib grabbing 4 wickets for 12 runs, and that was tremendous stuff by Gulbuddin Naib. Balk Legends, in fact, batted first, and they totted 165 for 5. Colin Munro at the top of the order, 46 of 24, 4 fours and 3 sixes. Usman Ghani 19. Ranton Doshad was promoted to 1 drop, did not do much, 13 of 17 balls with 1 4. Ravi Prapara made 34 of 29, 3 fours, and Nabi made 18. Naib was not out on 14, 165 for 5. Taman Mills 4 overs for 40, 2 overs for 13 for Kareem Sadiq. Hamir Hamza impressed, 4 overs, 1 made 1 for 23. Saad Shirzad 1 for 33, was none for 1 for 19 for Jannat. Waqar Salam Kale 3 overs, no made 1 for 30. Kandahar Knights chasing 166 runs to win from their 22 overs were restricted to 152 for 7. It was all in the main to the man, the young medium pace all-rounder, very talented at that. Gulbuddin Naib is also a good hitter of the ball, as we all know. He picked up some important wickets. I picked up the wicket of both the openers, Peter Sterling for 20 of 12 balls, 2 fours, 1 6, and went on to dismiss Brendan McCullum for 31 of 29, 1 4, 2 sixes. He added Kareem Sadiq LBW for naught, and he went in, and then he took a very big wicket, the dangerous bloke in this team, Kevin O'Brien, clean bowl for Gulbuddin Naib for 1. which gave Gulbuddin Naib figures of four overs, no maiden, 12 runs and 4 wickets. Asghar Afghan, the captain, was bowled by Aftab Alam for 45-32, 2 fours, 3 sixes. Karim Jannat 8, Najmullah Zadran 3, and that really made a problem with Najmullah Zadran not contributing. And then the pressure came on Amir Hamza and Syed Shirzad, but Gulbuddin Naib was simply too good for them. And Gulbuddin Naib's bowling analysis makes happy reading. 4 overs, no maiden, 12 runs and 4 wickets. And that definitely, there was no doubt he was the man of the match. Amir Hamza was not on 18 of 12, 1 4, 1 6. Syed Shirzad not on 16 of 9, 3 fours, 152 for 7, and a 13-run victory for the Balk Legends. Now, looking at the bowling, Nabi had 3 for 19, Aftab Alam was slammed for 38 runs with 1 wicket, but Gulbuddin Naib's figures absolutely stood out. 4 overs, no maiden, 12 runs and 4 wickets. Ben Lawlin got smacked to the tune of 44 runs with 4 overs with just 1 wicket. 3 overs for 20 for K.S. Ahmed. Ravi Bopara was none for 18. Gulbuddin Naib player of the match. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that really sums up the daily cricket show of mine today. I hope you all enjoyed it. With my next cricket broadcast slated for tomorrow, that's on a Tuesday, it's about time for me to finally sign off on this show. Thank you.